Buenos días.
Yes.
No, buenas
Tardes.
tardes. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Hoy en la clase vamos a aprender los verbos radicales. Vamos a aprender cómo conjugarlos. Today we're going to learn about how to conjugar los verbos radicales. What are we going to learn? Conjugating verbos radicales. Okay, so for right now, we're going to focus just first on our O to UE group. Our O to UE group. Okay, the O to UE. We have repite todos. Almorzar. Feel free to stand up right now too. If you've been sitting all day today and you're bored out of your gourds, stand on up. Wiggle around. It's fine with me. Repite. Almorzar.
Almorzar.
Oh, that was kind of sad. Almorzar.
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 To
Eat lunch.
To eat lunch. Almorzar is to eat lunch. Muy bien. We have repite. Encontrar.
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 Encontrar. ¿Qué significa encontrar? To find. Muy bien. To find, or my rememberer for this one, it's like to find or to encounter. You encounter it or you find it. Yes? Okay? Encontrar. We have, repite, poder.
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 ¿Puedo ir al baño? ¿Puedo ir al baño? That's what you guys always say to me. ¿Puedo ir al baño? Can I? Or am I able to go to the bathroom? So poder is what?
Can I?
Able to.
Am I
To be able to. To be able to. ¿Qué significa almorzar?
To eat lunch.
To eat lunch. Encontrar.
To find.
Encontrar.
To find.
To find. Muy bien. Poder.
To not.
To be able to.
To be able to. To be able to. I need another name here. And, okay, check this one out. We have repite. Mostrar.
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 Is there an in there?
No.
No. A lot of people always want to call this one monstrar. Monstrar, like a monster. Okay? It's not monstrar, it's mostrar. Mostrar. So watch out for spelling that one. Does anyone have a good rememberer for mostrar? Dime.
You show your monster without an end.
You show your monster. Don't show me any monsters. Okay, muy bien. Mostrar is to show or to demonstrate something.
Oh.
So, like, I could say, hey, hombre, por favor, muéstrame tus deberes. Muéstrame tus deberes. You show me your homework, right? Dime.
It's like demonstrate.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like demonstrate. It is like demonstrate. There you go, to show. Okay, muy bien. We have repite, dormir.
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 To?
Sleep.
Sleep, dormir. Where do you sleep in college?
In your dorm.
In the dorms. You sleep in the dorms. Dormir in the dorms, okay? And we have repite, contar.
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 Whenever you see a two after it, or any kind of a number, it means it has two meanings. Muy bien, Hunter. It has two meanings. Now, don't mix this up with cantar. Woo! Cantar. What is cantar?
To sing.
This is contar. Only one letter difference. And contar could be like when I say uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
To count.
To count, or what's the other meaning for contar?
To tell.
To tell a story. To tell a story, right? We have contar. Then we have repite, volver.
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 Okay, I remember for this one, and it always works. It's silly, but it works. Voldemort returns to kill Harry Potter.
Yay.
Okay.
To return.
To return. And it has to be to return as in a person. Okay? Like when Kimber went to the bathroom.
She returned from the bathroom.
Yeah, ella vuelve del baño. She's returning from the bathroom. You cannot use this to return, like Kaden, when I borrow your super cool socks there, because I do love those socks. Those are pretty awesome. Okay, and I borrow them, and you say, hey, make sure you return them to me later. Okay, when it's an object, and this wouldn't be a bad thing to maybe add to your notes, when it's an object, you actually are going to use devolver. Devolver is to return. Devolver is to return an object. Okay? So take a moment right now in your notes under your O to UE column. We're going to start. Our first part of our page is all going to be O to UE. Write down each of your infinitivos, por favor, and what they mean. Each one of your infinitivos and what they mean. Okay? And go ahead and write down devolver also. Okay? Recordar. Now, recordar is a scary one, because what does it look like?
To record.
To record. It looks like to record, but that is not what it means.
Something to like keep.
To remember.
To remember, exactly. Recordar is to remember. And I think of that, you have to record it to your brain. It's recorded in your brain. To remember, I don't know if you guys have a better one. But recordar is to
you
remember.
Listen to it to remember something.
Ooh, you record something to remember it later. Good. Muy bien.
What does encontrar mean again?
What does encontrar mean again?
Oh, to find.
To find, to find. What is almorzar?
To eat breakfast. Or
That's desayunar.
lunch.
Lunch, to eat lunch. Almorzar, to eat lunch. You always want more lunch. You always want more lunch, okay? Almorzar. Encontrar was to
Fine.
find. Mr. Gustavo, ¿qué significa poder?
Oh, to
¿Puedo ir al baño?
be able to.
To be able to, muy bien. How about mostrar?
Demonstrate.
Oh, to show.
To show, to show. Muy bien, to show. Dormir,
To sleep.
to sleep. Contar,
To tell a story.
count
or
or to tell a story.
to tell a story or to count. Muy bien. To tell a story or to count. Volver,
To return.
to return. And recordar,
To remember.
to remember. Volver is to return, but only talking about a person. What verb is a synonym? What verb is a synonym for volver?
Regresar.
Regresar. You guys already know regresar. Was there one that you needed help with?
No, I found it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when we conjugate these, we're gonna do our very first one. Which one do you guys want to do? You might want to pick poder. Poder. Okay. So poder. And what does poder mean?
To be able to.
To be able to. Do you guys need a moment to finish writing your list?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you just one moment here. Yes. And do you want to zoom in on the list so that people can see what we're copying down? Maybe walk up and zoom in on the list really well.
Oh.
Did you look at, I think watch Chris's videos when he recorded, he was like, he like distracted me, like set his phone down. He was like,
Oh.
mine's really dark too. It says apple. Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, it's apple juice.
Okay, here we go.
One more. Almost done.
So let's talk about this. Step number one, whenever we conjugate a verb, guys, we always want to make sure and have a pattern. A step-by-step, what do I do when I need to conjugate these, okay? Because what I teach you today, you can apply to any of these verbos radicales, okay? All of these are called verbos radicales, radical verbs. You can also call them stem changers. Why would you call them stem changers? Why would you call them stem changers?
Because they change their stem.
What is a stem?
The part that remains after you slice off the end.
Okay, if I were to slice off the ending, the part that remains, POD, is my new stem. So, via the name stem changer, we know that my stem is going to have to change, yes? You can also call them boot verbs. I learned them as boot verbs, and you'll learn why later, okay? So, step number one, we always, when we conjugate a verb, we write out the infinitivo, and we definir. We want to definirlo. Okay? Number two, next what am I going to have you do? Same thing we always do.
Write the personal pronouns.
Good girl, muy bien. Write down your pronombres personales, so take a moment and do that, por favor. Write down your pronombres personales.
The definitivo.
Definir, sorry, it says definirlo. I used an IOP. Or a
So the
DOP.
definition
And define it. Yep, there you go.
and define.
Definir.
Yep, and define. Pronombres personales. Okay? Now, what do we do next when we conjugate a verb?
Right down.
Well, what do we have to do before we can write down the stem?
The
Change it.
personal.
Cut off the ending.
We have to chop off the
Ending.
ending. We need to chop off the ending. Chop off the ending. Determinación, right? And what is my ending for this kind of verb? ER. So we're going to chop off our ER, right? Now we write down our stem. Before you guys do this, I'll have you pause and then I'll give you a minute to write. That way, I always hated it when teachers give you a bunch of instructions and then they go back and change it and they know that they're going to change it but you don't and then you're writing in pen and your notes all get all messy. Yes? Okay, so our stem is POD. So we write down POD, POD, POD. Okay? POD, POD, POD. Okay, so we chopped off the ending and then we wrote down, so you could write that down on your notes, wrote down the stem or write down the stem. The stem or the root, either one. Okay? Now what do we have to do? When we conjugate a verb, what do we do next?
Well, first you make the changes.
No, that's what we're going to do first. What do we normally do?
Okay.
Add the endings, right? We got to add our endings. Add endings. ¿Puedes cerrar la puerta, por favor? ¿Puedes? Oh boy, 2 stem changers. ¿Puedes? What is puedes? Can you cerrar?
Close.
Close la puerta. Ooh, da, da, da. You guys wasn't out in Spanish. Add endings. Okay, so for my ER verbs, what are my endings? Oh dear. Repite todos. O-S-A.
O-S-A.
Hemos.
Amos.
Es.
Ace.
En.
N.
O-S-A.
O-S-A.
Hemos es en.
Amos. S-N.
O-S-A.
O-S-A.
Hemos es en.
Amos. S-N.
O-S-A.
O-S-A.
Hemos es en.
Amos. S-N.
Okay, now here's the part where we're going to be stem changing. Okay, rule number 1. And you're going to put like 5 stars in this. Nunca, 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 nunca do we ever change the nosotros or the vosotros forms. These 2 forms will never stem change. They will never ever stem change. So you always just conjugate them as normal. Okay? The rest of them, we said, just by the category it belongs to, you know that the O is going to change to a UE, right? So you take this O and it's going to become a UE in every single form except what?
Nosotros.
Nosotros and?
Vosotros.
Vosotros. Cody, I definitely did not hear your voice there. So what are the 2 forms that are never going to stem change?
Nosotros y vosotros.
Good man. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure you're still working. All right. So then we're going to erase it and O is going to become UE. UE. How would this sound if you didn't make it UE?
Poto.
Ode. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good.
The point is
Puede. And pueden. Okay? So we have repite todos. Puedo.
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 I want to hear every vowel. Chicos, let's hear your vowels. A.
A.
E.
E.
I, O, U.
I-O-U.
El burro sabe más que tú.
El burro sabe más que tú.
Muy bien. You guys got that down. Repite. A, E, I, O, U.
A-E-I-O-U.
El burro sabe más que tú.
El burro sabe más que tú.
E.
E.
U.
U.
O.
O.
E.
E.
U.
U.
O.
O.
Puedo.
Puedo.
Puedes.
Puedes.
Puede.
Puede.
podemos.
Podemos. Podemos. Repite. Podemos.
Podemos.
Puedo.
Puedo.
Podemos.
Podemos.
Puedo.
Puedo.
Podemos.
Podemos.
Puedes.
Puedes.
Podés.
Puedes.
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 Podés.
Puedes.
Puede.
Puede.
Pueden.
Pueden.
¿Todo bien?
Sí.
Okay, do we need to go through what the meanings of each of these are?
No.
No? Okay, so show me verbally then that you know for sure before I go. ¿Qué significa puedo?
I am able to.
I am able to. I can. ¿Puedes?
You are able to.
You what?
Informal.
You informal can or you informal are able to. How about puede?
He can.
He. She.
He, she,
Or you formal.
you formal, or
it can.
Or it,
mm-hmm. It can. Okay. How about podemos?
Podemos.
We can.
We can. Podéis.
You guys can.
You guys can and pueden.
They for group of boys, they for a group of girls, they for mixed.
And once again, I don't hear your voice back there.
Okay.
What?
What does pueden mean, hombre? What are the four meanings for pueden?
They can, or they are able to.
Mm-hmm.
They for a group of girls are able to.
Uh-huh, I like it.
They for a group of boys are able to.
Okay,
And they for a group of mixed are able to.
okay. What about this one, the formal?
Oh. Not we. You guys, all of you guys.
You all?
You all formal.
Formal can. Muy bien, muy bien. Okay, so, any preguntas on how we conjugated this? Preguntas? No? Okay, let's do another one. This time, and I'd like to see you guys get started on the next one. Which one do you want to try next?
Dormir.
Dormir?
Because everybody likes sleeping.
Everybody likes to dormir. Okay, so start with dormir. Define it.
What's the YouTube file saved as? Is it in the T drive?
It's in the T drive, and just try index, search for index or YouTube, either one. Okay, dormir is to sleep. All right, Kaden, what should I do now? I wrote down my infinitive. I defined the infinitive. I wrote down my personal pronouns. Now what should I do? Chop off the ending. What is the ending for this kind of verb? What kind of verb is this one? It isn't ER. It's a IR verb, right? Or ER if you're talking in Spanish. Yes, that makes sense. So my new stem, what's my stem going to be, Kaden? What's the stem or the root? The part that's going to be left over after I chop off that ending. What is it going to be? Okay, it is going to change from O to UE. It's an O to UE stem changer. Yeah. And my stem, then, which two are definitely not going to change ever, ever, ever? Nunca, nunca, jamás. Miss Felicia. Nosotros and vosotros. So let's go ahead and write our stem for those two. What is my stem going to be for nosotros and vosotros? But it doesn't change. So it's just going to be dorm, right? Dorm and dorm. Okay? Because these two don't stem change. The rest of them, what's my stem going to be? Dwerm. 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 Dwerm.
Dwermo!
Dwerm. Sounds funny, doesn't it? Dwerm. Okay?
Why can the verbs just not be separate?
Now, we need to put our endings. Okay, so IR endings. I'm hoping that we're going to redeem ourselves with the IR endings. So, are we ready? We have.
Yeah.
O, S, A, imos, is, N. Repite. O, S, A.
O-S-A.
Imos, is, N.
O-S-A.
O-S-A. Imos-is-en. O-S-A. Imos-is-en. O-S-A. Imos-is-en. O-S-A. Imos-is-en.
Muy bien. O, S, A, imos, is, N. What are the only two forms that are different than ER verbs?
Nosotros.
Nosotros and vosotros. Muy bien. Now, check this out. This is why they call it, like when I was in school, this is why we learned it as a boot verb. Because if you draw a boot, oops, oh my gosh. You can see my drawing skills now. This is going to get scary.
Lovely.
It looks like a boot. Everything inside of the boot changes, and everything outside does not.
I take it that's why they're boot verbs.
Boot verbs. There you go. Yeah? ¿Todo bien?
Sí.
¿Preguntas? ¿Sí or no?
No.
¿No? Okay, muy bien. So, otra vez, super rápido. We have, repite, almorzar.
Almorzar.
To
eat
eat
lunch.
lunch. Encontrar.
To find.
To find. Poder.
Oh.
Poder.
To be able to.
To be able to. Can I? Am I able to go to the bathroom? Mostrar.
To show.
To demonstrate or to show. Dormir.
To sleep.
To sleep. Contar.
To count or tell a story.
To count or tell a story. Gosh, you guys are rocking
To
this.
return.
Volver. To return as in a person. Because Voldemort returns to kill Harry Potter.
To remember.
Record.
Remember.
To remember.
To remember. Recordar is to remember. And what case significa de volver?
To return an object.
To return an object. Perfect. Muy bien. All right. Adios.